Of course, we are very excited to be here and to do this project. We've been wanting to do something in New York for a very long time, and it's a very great opportunity. And I think that it is very important that for a new town in New York to have that as a landmark to kind of really...
to represent the 21st century, something you couldn't have done 20 years ago, and we now can do. And the elegance and sense of new elegance which comes with that. And you can see that it's a very three-dimensional object, although it's a kind of will have the potential of being attached at the back, but it's making most of the three sides and creating a kind of sculptural entity. So the primary idea here is that we obviously have a podium with retail and larger trading floors, etc. And then the transitioning into the tower, which is also a simple, clean, efficient extrusion. That transition is important, which delivers this spectacular sky lobby space, outdoor garden spaces, shared facilities for all the tenants. And that gives a kind of unique sculptural identity to that tower at that point, with these four petals making the transition. Two of them are outdoor gardens, sizable outdoor gardens, about 45 feet by 35 feet. And as we feel, a very strong silhouette and powerful image. Within the contemporary language of architecture, we're no longer just adding preconceived elements together in an additive way, but creating this idea of transitions and fusions and morphing from one system to another. This is the way it appears in the skyline of Park Avenue. So we have the Seagram's building here and the new tower. It's particular that view along the corner is important because you rarely have a frontal relationship. It becomes a very strong iconic feature. And also the corner looking out, we have these kind of grand corner suites and windows, these clipped corners to view out into the Park Avenue. So in both directions, very important. And this is the kind of free scheme, the kind of non-compliant, has exactly the same area, but liberates itself from the requirement of having 25% of the structure maintained, and therefore opening up at the bottom much more generously with atrium, and we'll show that at the end. You can see clearly that there's a change of function and this special moment which will draw your attention and, I guess, invite you in. Here you can see how it is exposed to the elements. And this is when you step into it. So you're shielded, but you have the relationship to the sky. So this is that when you enter, that vision you get looking up and seeing from the inside that garden space. That's the atrium.
How high is that?
It's also the first 6 floors, 6 times.
Oh my God, that's over 100 feet. It's over 100 feet.
Yeah, something like this, yeah. So these are some of the studies we generated, how to transition between podium and tower shaft. Even more extreme versions were looked at. Very fanciful. And then we also looked at, for a second scheme, a kind of exterior structure, to particular the bottom part, to release all this structure, to create an openness down there as well. So some of that later on became scheme 2. So this is scheme 1 and then scheme 2. It's a kind of business-likeness, robustness, kind of restrained elegance. I think it's very New York in this sense. High quality, we hope, in the execution. So it's quite different from what we're doing in other places. So it has this more kind of matter-of-factness, elegance.
New York is a great city, but there hasn't been anything really new here, to be honest, for a long time. And I think the activity on the ground is very critical, and how, you know, even the desire of the skyscraper in New York was to kind of really multiply the ground many times than the building and have, you know, other things going on. So that's kind of really relates to kind of the New York history in terms of the towers. And we just wanted to really bring in something which we think marks this era was something quite fresh.